Hey all, just a guy with some land here, and I wanted to give you an update on the overall container garden and how it's doing. As you can see, the plants are looking absolutely amazing. They look good. However, looks can be deceiving because take a look at the bountiful harvest. All right, this is an eggplant. Yeah, little eggplant. So, what we're finding out is in container gardening with eggplants, they end up very small. They still ripen. The seeds are developed in here. It's great. You can cut it up and eat it, but that's a little bit, right? And then this is our zucchini. Now, zucchinis, not so bad. They're doing pretty good. However, you don't get a lot of zucchinis. A lot of them start to yellow and fall off. So I think it can only handle about one at a time. And then lastly, now here's the weird thing, because this is not container. Spaghetti squash. So the spaghetti squash was a little small, but what I found out with that is even though it's in ground, there was another spaghetti squash that grew on this that grew pretty large. So what it all comes down to is the root growth and also the nutrients. So I have not really fertilized those vines, the spaghetti squash vines. So I'm assuming what needs to happen there is more fertilizer. That's why I'm working on the worm composting bin and things of that nature. Now, with the tomatoes and everything else that are in containers, so if we take a look, here's our tomatoes, but let me show you some stuff. Look at how stressed these leaves are, right? And then the tomatoes themselves are starting to split a bit, right? So you see that here? And honestly, I think it comes down to the heat and the stress of these being in buckets. With the Florida sun just beating on it, it's really hard to regulate water. So I'm figuring what's happening with these buckets is the root system is also getting very hot. You're not able to really regulate the moisture as much as the plant wants. And also nutrients, you've got to have more nutrients. So as you take a look over here, this plant is kind of stressed as well, right? The leaves are curling, so not so great. In addition to that, let's take a look at the zucchinis. So the zucchinis, like I showed you, are kind of producing, but look at how sad these are. Wah, wah. They hate being in buckets. It's too stressful for them because bound roots and it being very, very hot and also being able to get enough moisture throughout the root system. So lastly, I'll show you the the eggplants, and we're looking at the same thing here. Look at how sad this eggplant is. It's pathetic. Now, keep in mind, I've been watering them every day. I've been taking care of them. I did with the containers, I did fertilize a bit with those once a week. So I really truly feel the container gardening is very, very stressful in the state of Florida, even though we're in North Florida, because of the heat. I mean, it has been crazy hot. We had a massive drought for a while, and now we're starting to get back into those daily summer rains. As you can see, it's kind of cloudy. So that's happening. Now with the little, the summer garden that I have things planted in ground, take a look at these. So they're a lot happier and a lot healthier, right? This is the basil. Basil's not doing too bad. So I'm teaching myself through all of this, because you can look at stuff on the internet, you can read things, you can look at, gallon sizes for your pots and all that kind of stuff. But until you put it into practice and theory, it's hard to know what's going to happen. So that's why I wanted this summer to experiment and show you all how it actually goes in North Florida. Now, yes, it was a weird season because of droughts and stuff, but guess what? Nature is going to do that. So my overall take on this is, as much as I hate to weed a garden, it's better for the plants if they're in ground. So I think next year I'm going to start planting them in ground, and I'm going to be really focused on, keeping the beds as they are, using a lot of mulch, making sure I don't have to weed as often, and then go that route. So there are gonna be some plants that I'm gonna be planting throughout the summer. So as I refresh everything, I'll keep you all posted. And I'll be honest with you, I am so looking forward to putting them in the ground because this shit is stressful. As always, I appreciate you guys so much for watching. Any thoughts, comments, please put them below. Let me know. I really appreciate all of your input and your feedback because, gosh, I've learned so much this year just sharing my life and my experiences with y'all. Thank you guys so much for watching. And as always, until next time.